Hello everyone, this is Brandon, and I thought I might show you guys an old prototype animation I worked on 5 years ago. This animation is called Colvak, or The City Fight, and it's basically themed around anthropomorphic characters, which is sort of an action-packed, futuristic themed animation. So the story of this animation is there's this character named Jake, and he's sort of like was supposed to be like an assassin, and the idea was like he was given a target which turned out to be his brother because his brother like runs the city or whatever. And he's like power mad, not like mentally ill, but he's just like arrogant of his own like actions, I guess. That's the theme basically. I believe the theme was influenced by Mirror's Edge, since that was kind of like a futuristic sort of idea. It runs for around a minute and a half, and then afterwards I can give some commentary and afterthoughts. So anyways, just sit back and I'll get back to you guys after that. Alright, so that was the animation. I only worked on it for around like 2 to 3 years, and it started back in high school, around my senior year. And it's kind of funny because this was supposed to be my magnus opus animation. It was going to be around, I think, 5 minutes long. It was going to be, just all like pseudo 3D, footage with this crazy high frame rate, smooth frame by frame animation. It was going to be on Newgrounds, and it was going to be on Flash Portal and YouTube. It was going to be the thing. But there's a lot of reasons why I never really got about to finishing it. And the biggest reason why was just the scope and the amount of work required was just way too much for this project. It really just started from being influenced by a guy named Ryanide. It's basically cyanide, but just replace the C with an R. His artwork is good, but the reason why I'm influenced by him was because he made this one animation called daunting Dynasties, and it's a really smooth, high frame rate animation, and it looked incredible. Like, I was blown away, not because just the animation. The animation looked great, but what also intrigued me so much was the fact that it was kind of a foreign concept, because I never thought that because we're human beings, we should be good at drawing humans. So when I saw like him drawing like anthro characters, I was like the fact that he was good at drawing something foreign and like was able to animate it so well just blew me away. Like, I never thought that was actually like possible. And I was exposed to like anthropomorphic characters back in the 90s, but it was just crazy seeing that high frame rate. And so that's also one of the biggest things that influenced me was the frame rate, and that really took a toll on the project, I would say. So I guess the animation itself, Colvak, or The City Fight, I hope that name doesn't mean anything terrible, but the frame rate originally was 35 FPS, which is a really bizarre frame rate, and I believe Ryanide's daunting Dynasties was originally 30, but then he bumped it up. The one that he released online was at 35 FPS, and I believe that's the reason what influenced me. So yeah, 35 FPS shot at once. So you can there's like that means a unique drawing every single frame. And even that first clip with the part where they're fighting in the garage, there's a lot going on. There's a lot to animate, but we'll get back to that in a little bit. So yeah, I was blown away by Dendin Dynasties, and then I decided, oh man, I want to do Flash animations. I think I was in my freshman year around that time, a little bit before that maybe. And I tried dabbling in Flash, but I never could get the hang of it, and I just was so confused, and tried doing tutorials, but I still never understood it. But then I took an animation class in graphic design in high school, and that really started to push myself. And then from there, I started being able to make like little simple frame-by-frame animations. But you can kind of see already, there's a very similar correlation with all them having high frame rate, smooth, shot at ones at 30 FPS or 35. I believe the animation was going to have certain sound clips. Like I had sound effects from Counter-Strike, I think Day of Defeat, Fear, Call of Duty 4, I believe, and maybe Modern Warfare 2. I don't know if Modern Warfare 2 was... yes, it was around, yeah. I have my own original voice clips as well, which you can kind of hear.
Take him down! Go, go, go! Reload! Enemy in sight!
But they just sound a little absurd. Yeah, that was my high school voice, which I don't think has changed too much, but maybe it's just because of the microphone. So I guess if you ever need a voice actor or someone to voice death clips, I probably could do it. Alright, so lastly, before I just show like the prototype's credits, I've been kind of debating if I should put a, sort of like a storyboarded version, like the full version of what I imagined in my head for this animation if you really want to, but I was really hesitant to, because originally I was going to just do the full thing and then commentary, but unless people want it, then I can, but otherwise I have no interest in doing that. So I guess the biggest question that people would want to ask is, am I ever going to finish this? And I'll be honest, I don't think I ever will. This animation, the fact that there's a couple of design decisions that I'm already not too happy with, and back then it was around, I'm still not the best at what I did, like in terms of animation. Like my characters, like I always need a reference, and I noticed that when I frame by frame animated some stuff, the characters kind of start to like shrink and their proportions start to lessen, I guess. So there was a big issue with just like, I had the vision, but I didn't really have the execution or the manpower to do so. So it wasn't really something that was able to come to fruition, because it was there. You see there's like drafts, but it was just too much work. And that's why I'm like, if I were to redo this, which I don't think I will, but it's at 35 FPS, and obviously that's too much. And on YouTube I think it caps at 30, but now they have like the 60 FPS mod. But so that's like one thing I would change. And there's a lot of things that are happening so fast. Even like original animation was at 35, but the one that you just watched was at 30. So there's a lot going on, and it's just, there's so much to pay attention to, and that isn't bad, but it definitely is like getting too caught up with the details to the point where it's like you gotta focus on the whole. You can't get too caught up with like these little things, if that makes sense. Because I think that was another issue, is I was way too much of a perfectionist. It still was very interesting to watch, and there was still like it was still fun to see all the lost concept like roughs and all the cutscene still images and the storyboarding. With the whole Magnus opus thing, it's kind of funny because this was around before I got into making games, and I have these ideas for like quote Magnus opus video games, but this animation I think is a very clear foreshadowing, maybe even probably just a warning for myself that I gotta be careful. I don't know, I definitely think that I can't go and solo stuff, but it's just kind of like, it's something that I'm still struggling with nowadays, is trying to figure out how I can somehow collaborate or just get a team going. But it's I don't know. It's difficult trying to find people like that. I guess I just gotta keep trying. That's kind of something that I thought was interesting when I was looking back on this. Anyways, I hope this animation and commentary were enjoyable for you guys. If you have any questions, you obviously can leave them below. And that's pretty much it. I don't have any interest again in going back to this. And I was just looking at through all my old like projects and just seeing, and I saw this and I thought, huh, that looks pretty interesting to show. So, all right, well that's it, guys. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys around later. I had the vision, but I didn't really have the execution or the manpower to do so.